Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We've got the pleasure to introduce some lovely companies here today, as well as some hopefully very interesting topics to cover across the next 45 minutes to an hour. Our focus for all the companies here is to how to create the perfect business model or business approach to running a successful e-commerce business. All the companies here are very passionate and adamant on providing the best solutions in the market to scale, grow, launch the best e-commerce business out there. My name is Gul Singh. I'm here as the partnership lead from Osome. Osome essentially provides e-commerce bookkeeping and accounting. We provide software as a service, as well as in-house accountants to take you through every step of your journey to help you start your business from company creation to grow and scale your business with our expert accountants, e-commerce specific, and our e-commerce specific software to help you scale and grow your business. Also, we've got some amazing guests here, so I'm going to allow themselves to introduce themselves and where they have joined us from and what company they represent. So we'll start with Hi. If you could share a little bit about yourself and the company that you represent.
Thank you for inviting me, Gul, first of all. And I am representing ZonGuru, and I'm the CEO of the company. We are headquartered in San Diego, California. And what EVA does is EVA works for the Amazon sellers to maximize their profits by dynamic pricing, warehousing, advertising, profit analytics, and reimbursement services. And it's a SaaS platform plus warehouse management too.
Amazing. It's a very viable and necessary solution. Thanks for being here. Hi. Eugene, if you can go next, please.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, thanks for inviting me on. So I'm part of ZonGuru, so I'm part of the biz dev specialist from ZonGuru. So essentially, ZonGuru is an all-in-one tool suite, specifically 17 different tools to help Amazon businesses. So from product research and optimization, and then down to automation tools. And we cater to all aspects of sellers' Amazon journey.
Brilliant, amazing. Thanks for that, Eugene. And then Simeon, finally, we got this Taimur too from Osome. Simeon, if you could go next.
Sure, thanks, Gul. Hello, everyone. Delighted to be here. It's probably important to note for those of you who took a good look at the registration page that I am, in fact, not Mark Elwood. We do get confused often. We do look very similar, but no, Mark couldn't be here, unfortunately. So I'm here for the Huboo team. I manage e-commerce partnerships at Huboo. We are a multi-channel fulfillment company. We fulfill for sellers across major marketplaces, so Amazon, eBay, Etsy, OnBuy, for example, in the UK, and then also major platforms, so Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, etc.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Simeon, and thanks for being with us today, and wishing Mark good health and obviously Huboo great success and growth ahead. Taimur, if you can go next, please.
Sure. So thank you, Gul. My name is Taimur Ghafoor. I'm one of the senior accountants here at Osome UK. My part of the role is to make sure the e-commerce accounting and bookkeeping is as automated as possible and as streamlined. Your Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Shopify, eBay, whatever platforms you're working on, we use those platforms to automate and help you provide a streamlined process for your numbers and finances. And as Gul mentioned, Osome is the platform to do that, and I'm there as one of the senior accountants.
Cool, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Taimur. Yes, so the goal for us over the coming few months is to cover various e-commerce specific topics in context to how to grow and scale your business. And then every event, we want to cover different components, different areas of what could be the beneficial routes to take to grow and scale your e-commerce business. This week, we want to cover the finance and bookkeeping side of things, and the other weeks we'll cover anything from logistics to inventory management, to efficiency in inventory management, to marketing, and all the attendees and partners here will be sharing some valuable insights across those coming weeks and months, and we're quite excited to get this started today and get this kicked off for the next few months. So Taimur from Osome will be presenting a small presentation to go through some, hopefully, amazing knowledge that you guys will love in context to cash flow management, bookkeeping, accounting to help you grow and scale your e-commerce business. The timer on to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me share my screen. So, as Gul said, this is a part of e-commerce masterclass series. Today we're talking about the secret of bookkeeping and accounting in order to scale your Amazon, eBay, or Shopify stores. A little bit about ourselves. We are one of the market leaders in bookkeeping and accounting for e-commerce solutions. We provide you experts who are well trained and understand the e-commerce industry itself. And we do this by making sure there's zero efforts on your side, by integrating with major platforms. And our software and our technology behind it is the one that talks to the platforms and your accounting softwares and streamline the whole process. We provide numbers that you can act on for your strategical decisions making, and you get direct access to accountants through live chat. It's very informal. You don't have to wait weeks for getting an appointment. You can talk to one of the e-commerce accountant experts at your fingertips. And we work with a lot of different business sizes. So regardless of at which stage of your business you are, we know exactly what we're doing and how we can provide the service to you. But moving over, this topic is mainly covering e-commerce and business back office basics and how that can help you grow your business. Bookkeeping and accounting, we'll go through some common questions, top tips, and then we'll talk some Q&As. So to start with, why do you really need to focus on back office and your e-commerce bookkeeping and accounting side of things? One of the main things that I can think about is your pricing model. So, when you're starting an e-commerce business, you think about your products, you think about marketing, but one of the main things that really helps you be competitive and get that edge in a competitive industry is your pricing. If you have a robust back office process, this whole thing can be fully automated and provide you live information on how the pricing of your product is making a difference in your market place, and also how much of a competitive edge you have. The right pricing model can give you a right competitive edge. You can have a better placement of your product in the market. You get better margins. With better margins, you know exactly how much leeway you have in terms of providing more better deals or better discounts. For example, on eBay, if you're selling a single product, you might do really good, but it's a known fact that providing that second item on a discounted rate really gives you that sale. And if you have a good back and office system, you can know exactly how much margin you have, and giving that 15% discount will not put you into a minus or into a loss. So it helps you make those better decisions. And all of this comes through a basic bookkeeping and accounting with a robust back-end understanding. It also helps you understand which platform is the best for you by understanding, how much platform fees are charged and how much it increases your margin by. And trading on a specific platform will still be beneficial for you or not. It helps you find better suppliers and logistic partners. Again, getting big numbers and getting discounts from these partners can be a good thing, but how does it actually work out on your pricing models? How does it affect your pricing models and your margins? You need to know those things before you actually jump into a partnership with someone, and you can only know those if you are doing your numbers and your figures through bookkeeping and accounting. So one of the main things that it can really help you is with your pricing, understanding it, and then making better decisions on how it actually works. The second element, which I believe is one of the most important element for e-commerce, is the cash flow. A lot of businesses jump into e-commerce with a big bit of their own personal money as a side hustle or something that they get their families involved into to see if this will work for them. And one of the top 10 reasons in UK, the failure for top 10 reason is not managing your cash flow properly. Now, what I've come up with is something called a life cycle of a business or a product, and it has 4 different stages. And at each stage, you need to manage your cash in a way that it accommodates that stage and help you move to the next stage. So just to give an example, like at introduction stage, you will have no sales, because you're setting up your business, you're finding those suppliers, you're getting more information on your logistic partners. You will have expenses, which means a lot of outgoing but not incoming. So you need to manage that in a way that it does not take you out of cash and you end up losing the business before it even starts. The second stage is growth, where you will get sales, but not enough to cover all of your expenses or your ongoing operations of your business. Where at the third stage, at maturity, is the peak of your sales, where all of the inflows are helping you cover your outflows. And you want to be in this stage as long as possible. But with a proper cash management, it will help you get to that stage and stay at that stage as much as possible. And the last stage is a decline for any business or any product. There comes a stage where an item becomes obsolete, and you need to know what that stage is and stop putting in more cash into it and just get as much cash out of it as possible and manage that, and instead of spending your more money into it. And all of this again is possible through understanding the numbers of your business. And to get those numbers, you need that bookkeeping and accounting in place. Without that, you are free floating and you don't know at which stage you're at and what you should be doing next, or how you should be planning your business going forward. The third and the most important part is the tax and legal implication of bookkeeping and accounting. HMRC in UK requires you to keep your records safe for 6 years. They can knock at your doors and ask you anything for last 6 years, and you need to make sure you have it ready in a way that is easily accessible and ready for them to be investigated on. If you don't have that, you can incur a lot of penalties and charges and even end up closing down your business. So you need to make sure you have your bookkeeping and accounting in place. It helps you understand your profit so that you can budget your tax bills, rather than just spending all of your money, and then when it comes to the big tax bill, you don't have that in place, and then you end up getting more penalties and fines of not submitting it on time. Again, if you're doing a regular and consistent bookkeeping, it helps you submit everything on time. You need to submit things to your company house and HMRC, and all of that requires a consistent bookkeeping. Everything is done digitally now. Making tax digital is a big thing. They need to see the numbers and the transaction behind the numbers, and for that you need a consistent bookkeeping. And doing it on regular basis helps you plan ahead and prevents the last minute stress. Imagine you're in a Q4 and you're making all of those sales, and all of a sudden you have a deadline. You end up just focusing on that deadline because it, as I said, it can incur a lot of penalties and cost you more than it should. So apart from that, bookkeeping and accounting also helps you understand the behavior of your product. So how well your product is doing in which specific market. You can see the trends, and based on the trends, you can make some decisions to understand if you should continue focusing on this market or you should focus on a different market with a different product. But to get all of this information, you need to do the bookkeeping to see the trends. Without the bookkeeping, you don't have those trends and you don't know which part of the business is doing what. You will just find one sales figures, but you don't know the specific of it, and you need to know the specific to make those decisions. It tells you how the industry is working. It shows you the threat of new entrants, suppliers, buyers, and substitute. When you're in a business, you need to make sure that your business is not threatened by these elements. Do you have a decent supplier? Are you too dependent on one specific suppliers, or do you have more than one suppliers who can provide you better pricing? If not, then these things can become a threat and can cost you a business. But bookkeeping and accounting helps you maintain those relationships. It helps you understand what your account payables are. When do you need to make the payment? Are you missing on those payments? Do you have enough cash or not? So if you're not doing the bookkeeping, you're literally making a guessing game, and it does not work out well in the long term. Your monthly management reports helps you to keep a track of these threats and make decisions in time. Also, the most important part, when you do a budgeting of your business, bookkeeping will help you see how you're actually working against those budgets. Look at the variance analysis and keep a track of everything, which will help you make better decisions going forward. So, in an essence, a good e-commerce bookkeeping will help you create and manage budgets. It will help you create future forecast and revenues and understand how the revenues are working. Determine the best time to make major purchases. Quarter four is one of the most lucrative time. It has one of the most highest numbers of events coming up. Halloween, Black Friday, Christmas. It can get really tempting to make those purchases, but there's a term called overselling, and overselling can kill your business. So you need to make sure you're not overselling and you have the capabilities of making those purchases. But if you're doing a regular bookkeeping, that helps you understand at what point in time you can make those purchases and where you need to stop. It helps you keep a track of your expenses and control them. Without this, you don't know how much you're spending, and if you're spending is bringing you any money back or not. So every pound that you spend should be bringing some sort of value back to your business. Without bookkeeping, you don't know if it is doing that for you or not. With bookkeeping, you can keep a track of it. It determines, again, the performance of individuals. You're spending a lot of time into your business. It helps you to understand, is your time being well spent, and are you bringing any value to the business or not, or can you do more? And again, it shows you how fast you or slow your business is growing, and if you need to make those drastic changes or not. A quick recap on budget versus actual. When you are doing your P&L and you're getting your management reports, you see your budgets and how well you have done against those budgets as actual bookkeeping. So the first thing you will see on your profit and loss is gross profit margin. That tells you how well you're using your resources to produce or arrange your goods. If the margin drops down or increases significantly, there's something wrong in your supply chain. You need to make significant changes. Your profit margin tells you how your other resources are being used to support the sale of your products. Again, any changes in that percentage means you now need to focus on the specific of the business and see where you need to make changes. You need bookkeeping not just for compliance, but to help you with the above. Again, bookkeeping and accounting was normally used as a term to get things done, but now it's more used for analytical purposes, and that's what we are doing as Osome here, is trying to provide more than just doing your bookkeeping and try to provide you more analytical tools to make those business decisions. Some of the common questions asked when we are focusing on bookkeeping is what accounting software should we use, or should we simply use a spreadsheet? Again, you can use templates, spreadsheet, or accounting software, but it's very manual. What accounting softwares provide you is effective way of managing your books with information that you need on your fingertips. We use Xero as a backend, and Xero is one of the tools that is linked with many online platforms, and it provides information in a very nice, good-looking dashboard that you don't have to deep dive into. You can just literally look at the front page to know exactly how your business is doing. With an Excel sheet, it's all done on your own basis, and you have to update it on a regular basis compared to what an accounting software can provide. It's key to have a system you understand and you're happy to use regularly. So you need to be comfortable with those systems. The next question I get is who to get to run the bookkeeping. Do you do it yourself, or do you outsource this? Again, you need to see the cost versus benefit. Spending your own time where you could be doing a lot more and focus on your business is beneficial for you, or getting someone like outsource like Osome can do it for you and automate the process in a lot cheaper and cost-effective way is better for you. So you need to judge what's best for you. You can add specialists and outsource those consultations like us, who help you not only with your books, but also every other aspect of your e-commerce business. Final thing on few benefits of bookkeeping and few tips. Again, maintain close eye and update your books. Don't put books at the back burner. I know it's not sexy, but bookkeeping is crucial for your growth. It's not a basic tool anymore. It's a tool to analyze and help your business and see your ideas coming into reality. Don't mix your personal and business transactions. Have a separate bank account, and always keep your business bank account specifically for your business transaction. HMRC does not like getting personal bank account involved into your business transactions. Get professional review. Always get someone who knows the industry, specific accountants who knows how it works, and get their idea on your books and actual figures of your business. Identify key metrics to keep you on top of your business, and compare it on regular basis just to make sure you are achieving the goals that you always meant to be achieved for yourself. Create custom reports. Again, these accounting softwares can create a lot of custom reports for you. If you want to see sales in different countries, you can create those. If you want to see your top selling products and how that works, you can do that. There's the softwares out there, especially Osome, have created those elements for you, and you can customize your reporting for your benefit. Again, understand which one works best for you and use those for your business decisions. Always review your numbers with your team and see if they agree with it, and how better they can manage that. And get help when you need it. It's important to involve resources where they can support your growth and mitigate your risk. So that's as far as the presentation goes. A little bit about us. We are e-commerce experts. You get a personal accountant who are qualified, and they are specifically trained on e-commerce segment. We provide and we're proud in making our platform easily accessible, and the advice is available for you on your fingertips. And obviously, we make sure that all of your deadlines are tracked. If you're dealing in different countries like Europe after Brexit, we know exactly what your deadlines are and how to make sure that they're never missed. We work with many different platforms, different countries, and we know exactly how your sales should look like, and we produce those reports for you in a very easy, convenient way. We work completely on digital basis. There's no paperwork, and we produced an app which helps you transfer your documents to us and kept saved for HMRC purpose for a longer term. And there's an exclusive offer. Anyone joining this call, there's £100 off for your first month bookkeeping, but please feel free to get in touch if you want to have a consultation with us. Time for some Q&As.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot for that, Taimur. And yeah, I think it's important to focus on the numbers and how to run the numbers, I guess. I guess we can all agree on that as to how we can manage the complexity of growth or launch, especially when it comes to make sure we're compliant. But beyond that, how do we get the best insights that can help us understand our operations, our sales, our marketing to make better decisions? So thanks for the timer. And then, a few questions. So to add to Simeon and Eugene. So Eugene, if you can go first, what advice would you give to upcoming e-commerce businesses on the importance of business finance management?
Definitely know your strength. Meaning, say, if you're a CEO and stuff, and you're always trying to do everything yourself, right? But definitely to find someone suitable, like how Taimur was saying, you seek professional help to manage your finances, because if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. So I've seen one of my actually a friend of mine running selling on Amazon, and then here's a quick story. Everything's going good. They are a manufacturer. They produce their products. They also provide private label for their products. So they do cater for that. Sellers will find them to create their own brand and then sell on Amazon, and they do sell on Amazon themselves. But he, as a CEO of the company, he's more towards the research guy. He's the one who find more, I guess, trying to create new products. Try to find new ideas to launch products and stuff. So initially, I noticed that they were doing good with the sales and stuff, and then sales start to grow and starts to pick up, getting Amazon choices and stuff. They also use our dashboard, ZonGuru dashboard, to track all the reportings, all the the net profit, everything numbers are going great. They're making a huge profit, but down the track, because he's more towards the research side of things, so he's constantly trying to figure out new ways, new products, and then spending a lot more budget on products, new products, and then on machineries and stuff. So not having a like a financial expert within that to pull him back and say, oh, actually you should look at the finances and stuff because you're spending money on this, extra product research, that's not going to help. And then one day, like there's an issue in the factory where one of the main machinery, it broke down and they have to stop production for like a month. So that really backtracked a lot of things. And then with not being able to manage the finances and stuff, so it actually pushed back a lot of the sales and a lot of I guess orders for their own private label brands, and everything starts to crumble. So yeah, from that, definitely to say, definitely know your strength and then focus on what you're really good at, and hire someone else, like maybe like a financial expert, maybe you guys also to do some and manage some of the accounting and the bookkeeping side of things.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think it gets, the more you grow, the more data, more numbers to manage, and it's at that moment the decision making is crucial to how those numbers look or can look, and it can be a blessing or a curse based on how one may manage those numbers. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. And then Simeon, what thoughts on that?
Sure. So it kind of follows on from what you've just said, actually. So I think quite a common belief, especially among upcoming e-commerce businesses, is that business finance management only really becomes crucial when you've reached a certain size. And I think in reality, that couldn't be further from the truth. I think new sellers entering the market need to have a deep understanding of their finances so they can construct a good pricing model, enter the market at the right price, and know their margins from the off. I think knowing your margins from the off allows you to plan all back office processes far more effectively. And it obviously allows you to be a bit more agile when it comes to repricing, offers, and also, like Eugene said, being able to cope with changes, problems going on, especially this world we live in. There's always going to be things you need to be able to react to. So yeah, the advice I would give is don't leave it too late to get this in hand, and don't let it become some mammoth task before you deal with it, essentially.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And then Taimur, do you have any final thoughts there?
Yes. Look, a lot of people, when they're starting a business, they don't think about finances as, when you say budgeting, they're like, it's something that not someone can do easily. They need a financial expert on this. No, budgeting is a very simple, straightforward concept. It's just to plan your finances in the next 6 months. So even if you're not getting an accountant initially, because obviously you need to run the business first, but before you actually hit the market, get an Excel sheet, drop down some labels, drop down some figures, and see how it actually looks, and if your idea is actually any beneficial for you, and even in 6 or 7 months, and then think about jumping into the market. So I always suggest my clients to start with the numbers and then jump into something like starting a business also. So
yeah, makes sense. And then a follow-up question, I guess, to yourselves is, what's the biggest mistake you've seen e-commerce businesses making regarding their financial processes? We'll start with you, Taimur, because I guess you've seen lots of different use cases.
I think one of the things that I've seen is the over ambitions. A lot of people who jump into e-commerce, they've seen a lot of YouTube videos where people have become millionaires overnight, doing e-commerce, are really ambitious, and they just think that I just need to do this and that's it, I'll start making money. And it all comes back to planning. Without planning and jumping directly into it can cause you a lot. So for me, it's always starting with the numbers, starting with the planning, and then actually see if it works for you or not, and then jumping into it, and then start making that real money rather than just imagining that it will work without any resources.
Yeah, makes sense. Simeon, any thoughts to add over there?
Sure. I mean, there's lots of potential mistakes to be made, isn't there? One would simply be not paying enough attention to it, not dedicating enough resources. But I think especially this time of year, the main one I feel would just be leaving it too late. If you want a successful Black Friday, if you want a successful Cyber Monday, a successful peak season in general, you need to know what offers you can afford, when and if you can make major stock purchases, whether you need and can afford additional personnel, and a whole host of other preparations. I think realistically, you can't really begin to answer any of these without having a good grasp of your finances. I mean, of course, you could do these things without that, but you could end up in some hot water. And of course, we're here to talk about growth, and growth begins with making informed decisions about your businesses. And most informed business decisions come from a place of, can we afford this, so to speak? So I'd say without a doubt, make sure your finances are in check well ahead of any anticipated peak, or that could be a costly mistake.
Yeah, makes sense. And then Eugene, if you have any other thoughts to add on to that.
Yeah. So I just want to add on to what Taimur was saying. Like plan your finances before you ever, even get started. So, like say, I started selling back in 2016, and got really excited. I've got like $5,000, so I pretty much spent like 80% of that on inventory. So I didn't allocate enough budget for advertising, and other promotions and stuff. So like that product, it flopped. So actually it was a screen protector and stuff for iPhone, and it didn't work out. So like I had to burn everything else and really start over again. So like, really planning ahead really does help. Say allocate 25% on maybe your product cost of goods and stuff, and then another 10%, 20% for marketing, advertising, etc., and then another 50% maybe as a reserve. If the first product doesn't work, you can start again on your second product. So it gives you like a second chance to really start over again when you really plan your finances. So yeah, like don't make the mistake I made before.
Fair enough. I think the key is to learn from them as well, and I guess we'll all make mistakes, and we'll just keep learning, or try to anyway, to what we can do next. And then let's say to conclude on the business finances matter, then we'll answer some of the other questions, a few other things that we can share as to what might be good business financial related solutions, or things that allow the business to be more efficient, or allow them to grow more based on using the solutions that you guys provide. So we'll start with Huboo as to the cost saving element or the efficiency element that Huboo is bringing to sellers across UK and Europe.
Sure. Yeah. So from a fulfillment point of view, obviously, knowing the cost of every order that you're going to send out, knowing the margin within that is obviously going to be essential ahead of the peak season. Realistically, I can't as well recommend anyone better than Osome to help with those back office processes. I think everything's about automation nowadays. Everyone's getting a little bit lazier, not just the consumer, but everyone in general. And so being able to automate away those tasks, I think just allows you to focus on growth and on sales and on marketing. So yeah, definitely outsource where you can, take that pressure off you, bring back your time, and it allows you to focus on other things.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And then Eugene, similarly on your side as to ZonGuru, obviously there's a variety of products that you guys offer, and then actually trying to provide a cost saving element there as to product which is going to allow the businesses to get the value out of using your products, as well as various different tools that you use. How do you think ZonGuru supporting the hustle of the e-commerce entrepreneur and allowing them to use your services and helping them grow their business?
Yeah. So like ZonGuru, we provide multiple packages, for resellers and also for sellers as well, and then monthly payment and also annual payment and stuff. So it really gives sellers or even researchers who wants to start selling the opportunity to get started. And whether you're a lean startup or you have a bigger budget to play with, we do offer that for the sellers.
Yeah, makes sense. Sounds good. And then, yeah, so adding on to that, one other question. So does your company predict any specific e-commerce trends coming up in 2022? We'll go with Taimur first. Any trends you may see on let's say, e-commerce trends, I guess, more so in the context to bookkeeping, accounting, and business finance related scenarios.
Well,
but don't overshare what we can't share publicly.
If you're talking about trends, like I think there was a prediction like 2019, and the Q4 e-commerce was up by 19% compared to rest of the quarters. 2020 it was about 22%, and I think I believe there's a prediction that Q4 will be 25% up compared to the rest of the quarters. And it only shows that the trends of e-commerce and e-commerce buying and selling is just going up. More people are coming into the segment for buying purposes, but there's a lot more competition coming in as well. I forgot the number, but there was a big jump in the numbers of people, of new sellers in e-commerce, especially in the UK market. So in 2022, e-commerce will be more competitive, more fierce, and you need to be prepared if you are jumping into this market, which is the right time to be jumped in, to be honest. But you need to know the competition available in it, and especially with Amazon introducing a lot of new markets. There's a new Singapore market, and the places coming in place. You need to know how to get into those markets and how to be ahead of the competition.
Yeah, makes sense. And then, Simeon, on your side with the fulfillment and the logistics, as for 2022, what can the world be looking forward to?
Sure. So, yeah, I'd say one of the trends we're really seeing is offering a suite of delivery options and convenient delivery options as well. I think for a while the market was just moving towards let's get delivery as fast as we possibly can. And now what we're seeing is what consumers really prefer is being able to select a convenient delivery option. So whether that be an allocated time slot or a parcel locker or anything along those lines, I think for sellers to really capitalize on everyone coming to their store and boost those conversions, I think if you can offer as convenient a suite of delivery options as possible, I think that's going to be really key. So that's a big trend we're seeing, without a doubt.
Brilliant. And then Eugene, if you could share some trends that ZonGuru has found or looking to expand onto.
Yes. So in the 2022, definitely the trend what we're seeing is how a lot of sellers are moving towards live streaming on Amazon, using Amazon Live. So this trend actually started in Asia a while back, years ago. It's still going really good, especially in China. Taobao, one of the largest one, and they have upcoming sale September 11th, the massive sales, and a lot of them, they do live streaming, and sales are going to really skyrocket your sales, selling on the live streaming. So Amazon is moving towards that side of things, live streaming. So if you go to Amazon Live, you actually can see a lot of sellers started using that functionality a little bit more. And then definitely, when you're using that specific Amazon Live, you want to make sure that your product listings are really optimized for that specific keywords. And your listing have the top keyword searches that customers are searching for, and also keywords that your competitors are not using. So you can use ZonGuru to find those specific keywords, and also optimize your listing to really help maximize your exposure on Amazon, and then also really get that extra growth in the sales through live streaming. Even for Amazon posts as well, which is the Instagram of Amazon.
Yeah, I think adding on to that, and as David Ball has also mentioned in the chat, good SEO is key to people finding a business, and then it's great to know as part of ZonGuru's product mix. That's one other thing that they covered. Brilliant. So what we'll do next is we'll move on to some of the audience questions. I will start with D. I love the product cycle, but the cost model of each product can be complex when considering direct and indirect product costs. Do you have any hints and tips on how to analyze where your products are in each phase of the cycle? Who wants to take that?
Yeah, I'll try to take that. It's a very technical and complex question, so thank you, Dee, for that. Look, there's a new costing process nowadays, which is called activity-based costing. It's not new, it's a very old concept, but it's now being introduced into a lot of businesses, where traditionally we used to think of cost as, the direct cost and indirect cost, and then separate that on a P&L, and then just focus on, cost of goods sold. The activity-based cost is more focused on how much is it costing you to actually make that product or produce that product. So all of the activity involved in producing that good are now being considered as the actual cost of that product. So rather than just focusing on elements of production, shipment, activity-based costing looks at the activity behind the cost and uses that to determine the actual reality cost of the product, and because that's more close to reality. So use that to determine your actual cost, and then based on that, product lifecycle is slightly different to costing. It's about your market share and where you are in the market. So that's slightly different because it shows where your product is in at what phase, and to determine, you just need to know what the market share is and where your product is in that market.
Yeah, makes sense. Hopefully, Dee, that answers your question. And then, it's various components, as you mentioned. And then I guess on a product-by-product basis, there will also be a different life cycle to it, and the saturation that product may go through, or lack thereof. Brilliant. Few other questions. So I suppose Zishan asked a question in regards to funding. We've got Henry Barton there from Clayco, so we partner with Clayco. Clayco are a great option, Zishan, for funding your e-commerce business. And there's other providers out there too, from the likes of Wayfair, Make Heroes, Uncapped. There's plenty, but feel free to follow up with Henry and Clayco for sure. And then a few other questions. Let me just go through a few of the ones that we received previously. What do you anticipate are the most important things to be conscious of when running an e-commerce business across Q4? Who wants to take that first? I guess it touches on all the different things that everyone provides as a service in this talk.
Sure, I'll hop in first if that's all right. I mean, obviously the problem everyone's facing at the moment is supply chain issues. I think it's really important to be aware of that and anticipate that, and bake that into any planning you're doing for Q4. We at Huboo work with a really fantastic suite of partners who can help with that. But I'd say that's a good thing to bear in mind for the upcoming season.
Yeah, makes sense. And then Eugene, if you want to go next.
Yeah, and add on to that, definitely supply chain, with COVID, pretty much knock us on the sidetrack for everything else. So, especially in Q4, there's a lot of festive season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, and then the New Year. So you really need to be on top of your inventory level. Gonna make sure that you anticipate not only the how much inventory you should have, but also the duration of you shipping inventory to Amazon. And then being Q4, it takes Amazon a little bit longer than usual for them to really do stock take and also get your product to get your inventory alive on Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very busy time of the year naturally, and the warehouses are inundated with ridiculous amounts of deliveries, and the consumption is super high too. Anything else you wanted to add there, Taimur?
For Q4, again, I think we are almost done with the Q4. We're nearly there. What I would have said is that you need to really focus on your cash flow and don't oversell, because it's really tempting to do that. But you still need to think about the Q1 of next year, which can be really important for your business growth. So if you're focusing on Q4, just make sure you're also planning for your Q1 for the next year, because that will also bring the start of your business for the next year.
Yeah, makes sense. And then moving on to the next question, what are the common myths that you guys see around e-commerce businesses, or e-commerce as an industry, I guess? Who wants to add some thoughts there first? Some myths that you see around the
I'd say
space.
I'm happy to jump in. I think a common myth is something that I've seen over the last 12 months, especially, is basically that it's easy. I think there's so many solutions out there. Everyone's having so much success in this space, and so a lot of people come into it thinking it's going to be an easy way to make a bit of money, and it won't take too much effort on their part. And obviously, you just have to bear in mind, with success comes an incredible amount of competition. So you just need to make sure that you bear that in mind. Perhaps be realistic rather than super optimistic about how things are going to go. And then you should be all right.
With success comes an immense amount of competition, for sure.
For sure.
I slightly took that from Ben Parker, but I just edited it slightly.
No, it's quite powerful. Thanks for sharing that. And then Eugene, if you want to go share.
Like the common myth that I'm usually heard of is advertising, or specifically Amazon advertising, or even Facebook advertising is really hard. So to me, in my opinion, it's easy and it's hard at the same time. So meaning, like, you can't be lazy, with your data. So you really need to know your customers. You need to know your demographics, your geographics, psychographics, who is your ideal customers. So you need to delve deep into those data, find out, okay, who uses your product, whether they are like age between 35 to 60 years old, well, what are their interests, what are their hobbies and stuff. If you know all those data, it would really help you run your advertising significantly. And then that's for Facebook side of things. And then for Amazon, using the right tool, using the specific keyword that are less competitive, that your competitors are not using, then you're already ahead of the game. If you know those keywords, then you can bid for them, and then from there, generate more sales.
Yeah, makes sense. And then Taimur, do you want to add any other myths that you've come across?
Yeah, I'll just add to what Simeon said about how easy it is. It's not. It's a business. It's an actual business. It's something that you put your time and resources in, and it in return gives you something back. It's like any other business. A lot of people think, or a lot of people are teaching that e-commerce is something that you do on a side after your 9 to 5, and then you just make money out of it. It's not. There's a proper analytical tool that goes into it. As Eugene said, the marketing itself is different. It's not like a normal business, and you need to understand exactly how it works. The other day I was trying to see, try some e-commerce for myself, and I started buying products, and just listing product on Amazon took me more than half a day. Just understanding how it actually works, and buying the barcodes and listing, it has made out to be a very easy thing. It's not, and it needs your full attention and your understanding. Yes, you can do on a part-time basis, I'm not denying that, but it's not that you can just do in an hour's time and that's it, start making money. You need to put your time and efforts into it.
Well, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think nothing is anything that's worth having is not easy. It takes time, effort, dedication, and a lot of attempts to keep going again and again and again. Another question.
Sleep.
Sorry, what was that?
Apart from sleep.
Apart from sleep, yes.
Sleep? What sleep?
It goes too at times, I guess. So yeah, we'll just move to a final question, then move to closing remarks. So from Henry from Clayco, as e-commerce experts, would you recommend to find reliable content in order to stay up to date with e-com market trends and how to effectively grow e-com businesses? Any publications, websites, blogs, podcasts, etc. On my side, I really liked the publication that Shopify produced as to the trends for 2021 and beyond, which was a great read. Obviously, I'm going to recommend the Awesome blog because we produce a lot of content around various things, e-commerce specific, webinars, web podcasts, and so on. And then there's certain YouTubers who are pretty good as to gauging information. And I think also some Facebook communities, which are e-commerce specific, can create a really dynamic means to engage with various topics, have a debate, have various opinions in real time. That can also be interesting. Simeon, do you have any other thoughts as to where there could be, where do you find your e-commerce knowledge, and that could be beneficial for the audience to also
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'll second what you said in that I think communities are a real goldmine in this space. These are sellers in the same sort of situation and experiencing the same sort of issues, having the same sort of successes, and it's a real community feel in the e-commerce space. I think people are happy to share their successes and share what they've done to get around things. So there's some great Facebook communities, some great LinkedIn groups as well. And through those, often you see some of the newsletters, the podcasts promoted as well. So I'd get signed up to a few of those and take it from there.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, I agree with that as well, for sure. Eugene, if you want to share where you get your nuggets and your e-commerce.
Yeah, so for myself, I like to listen a little bit more because like in terms of reading, I can't, not really my cup of tea. So podcasts, definitely go for that. There's a lot of podcasts for e-commerce. If you want something specifically for Amazon, the Amazing Seller podcast, by Scott, and ZonGuru, we have our expert hot seat as well, and also Sellers Insights. And then, and also there's another one, My Wife Quit Her Job, Steve. He's a really good podcaster. He's got a lot of good content. And in terms of get community is important, like what Simeon said, if you have any questions, you just shoot and post it up and you get answers immediately. So there's a lot of Facebook groups. We do have our own Facebook group as well. So yeah, just really find and go and join all these Facebook groups. Try and post a question, you get an answer from all the sellers. There's a lot of experts within those groups. So yeah, those are really helpful, and that's where I get all my insights as well.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that, Eugene. And then Taimur,
No worries.
Where do you get your e-commerce insights?
As Simeon and Eugene mentioned, those communities and those speakers who are expert in their domains and they're sharing their knowledge, so please, definitely those will be the good starting point. But at also, again, every blog that you've seen on our website has been carefully considered by an accountant first and then being posted out, and also a lot of our partners are helping us create those blogs. So there's a lot of efforts and energy put into those blogs before they come out. So anything that you see there, it's probably months worth of work. Brexit is one of the main topics, and I personally spent 3 months just reading official websites and researching and then creating those blogs to help you navigate Brexit. So Awesome web page itself is a good source to understand, especially the accounting and finance side of things.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for that. And I suppose in terms of the podcast group sites, what we'll do, Ramel, is in the follow-up email, we'll share some of those names of the groups, the podcast sites that the speakers mentioned. So you've got access to those and some that we recommend as well on our site. Cool, brilliant. So just conscious of time. Thanks a lot to everyone that has attended today. Really appreciate you spending the evening with us, or whichever part of the world you guys may be in. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you today with us. And this is the first of 4 events where we discuss different topics in context to how to scale and grow your business across different components, from finance to bookkeeping, finance and bookkeeping to logistics to the marketing to different solutions in the market, from ZonGuru, Everguru, and Huboo, and they'll also be sharing some amazing insights. So we'll be really very much looking forward to seeing you for those following events as well. So just for some closing remarks, Eugene, if you want to go first.
Yeah, so thanks, Gal, for having us here on the channel and on the Masterclass series. So nothing much to say, just want to thank you guys. And then from the next sessions, John will be joining, and he'll be sharing his thoughts and his experiences as well. So, and I wish all the sellers best of success for Q4 and then for 2022.
Brilliant. Thank you, Eugene. And then Simeon, if you can go next, please.
Sure. So yeah, likewise, thanks so much for having me. Thanks to everyone who's attended and listened. I think there's been some great stuff shared on this, and I think just to follow up on everything we've discussed, yeah, just make sure to get those back office processes in place. Make sure you have all your cards in order, and then best of luck for a successful Q4.
Thank you, Simeon, and thanks for joining us as well. And then Taimur, any last things you want to add, please?
Sure. First of all, thank you for everyone joining, and especially being an active on the chat and asking all those questions. Again, please don't be afraid of the jargons. When you talk about budgeting, forecasting, ABC costing, all of this seems like something very technical, but if you look into it, they're actually very simple terms, simple things which can be achieved with a bit of understanding and knowledge and some consultation. So start your business properly with a detailed understanding of these things and your numbers, and then jump into it and hope you have a successful business.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing the Taimur. And then just echoing what the speakers mentioned, is wishing everyone a lot of success ahead. If you haven't started, there's no such thing as the right time. Whenever you feel you have the right idea, right product, and the energy to go for it, feel free to go for it. And then on our side, post-event, we'll share the recording, share the links how to get in touch with ZonGuru, Huboo, Osome, and so on, and any other added value information that we can share with you. And then thanks for spending the time with us today, everyone. Wishing you all a good evening or morning or afternoon, based on wherever you're joining us from, and wishing a good and a great week ahead. Thank you, everyone.